It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Just a bit outside radio show on BeExposedRadio.com. Little hiccups going on, but here we are. We're live Monday night, just like we do it every week, 7 to 9. And we got a great show going on tonight. Very excited. Not too excited about yesterday's game, obviously, Ravens Browns. But we have some cool stuff going on tonight. We have from Ring of Honor Wrestling, Beer City Bruiser. He's going to be joining us, calling on the phone, talking about Glory by Honor, which is happening this Friday in Catonsville at the UMBC Event Center. If you recall, Keisha and I, we talked to Bobby Cruz about the Best in the World show that they did back there in June. Absolutely had a great time cutting up with Bobby, and very much looking forward to speaking with Beer City Bruiser. Going to be talking with Brian from the Wrestling Realm, some more wrestling stuff, and have another guest coming in. So let's just get into it. Let's see. We already have some comments. My dad, my mom, hi. Love that they're listening. Just waiting for the call in, because that's how we're going to do it tonight. Top of the show. Skipping the intro. Actually, maybe I'll do that a little bit later. But yeah, we have the Beer City Bruiser trying to call in. Hey, Andre, can you hear me? Okay, he said he tried calling 4 times. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's live radio. Okay. We've had some baseball going on, playoffs. Obviously, the Orioles aren't in it, but saw a couple of sweeps in the divisional series. Trying to get Beer City to call again. A lot of wrestling fans, they just know WWE, but Ring of Honor is just an amazing company. A lot of the... Okay. Beer City's going to be joining us shortly. Ring of Honor has done some amazing things in wrestling. They're owned by Sinclair Broadcasting right here in Baltimore. Hey, Beer City?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Just keep going. It might be an issue. We will call them.
Okay.
Just keep going.
Hello, can you hear me?
Live radio. Like I said, Ring of Honor, they're owned by Sinclair Broadcasting.
Hello.
They didn't start with Sinclair, but Sinclair bought them. God, it's been like 5
Hello.
or 6 years now. They've been doing some phenomenal things. A lot of the guys that are in WWE now got their start there. Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, a lot of the guys in NXT, the whole Undisputed Era. Hello? Okay. Hey, Beer City?
Hi, this is Matt. I'm not here right now. If you could, leave me a brief, your name and a phone number. I'll try and get back to you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Okay. Oh, it looks like they can hear me on the feed, but I can't hear him.
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1 to listen to your message. Press 2 to erase and re-record. Press 3.
Like that.
Hey, Beer City?
Hello? Yeah. You hear me?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Nope, I can't hear him.
Hello?
We're going to get this figured out, I promise. So we're going to talk some Ring of Honor. Obviously, when Beer City's on the line, we're going to be talking with Brian from the Wrestling Realm. There's a big WWE show this weekend down in Australia. And then get into the Ravens, get into a little bit more sports talk. Exciting night. Obviously, I'm here by myself again. Keisha, she's still globetrotting. She's having the time of her life. She's going to come back so relaxed and rejuvenated. Not that she's like, you know, stressed out or anything as it is. But yeah, it's fun and it's interesting. Live radio. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to share it out as much as usual because it's going to be so busy. He's going to try call again. Is almost a whole segment right here.
Hello.
I I'm so
you guys
sorry,
hear me?
guys. I'm listening to my engineers also while we're trying to figure this out.
Can you hear me?
We're going to bring this to you, I promise. It's going to be interesting and fun. It is tremendous, Joe.
Hello?
I totally understand that. At least I find humor. You know, some people just take themselves way too seriously. And,
Hello?
you know, it's fun. This is something I do to get away from the 9 to 5. And it's just so awesome to be able to have the opportunity to interact with people such as Beer City Bruiser. We might just have to do a Bobby Cruz style, which was with the speakerphone. We're going to have Michael Lowenthal with the Brass Tap in tonight. We were there 2 weeks ago, and hello? We're listening. We did our show live at Brass Tap 2 weeks ago, which was really fun. Keish and I had a great time. You know, it was just such a different atmosphere being outside of the studio. Really looking forward to it again. And, you know, behind the scenes, we had a great time talking to Michael, and they have so much really cool stuff going on at the Brass Tap that we're looking forward to having him in here. And just talk about the different things that are going on. Like, there's Baltimore Beer Week coming up soon, and they're going to have some events going on there. Really cool stuff. Looking forward to it. I think we're going to get it going. We're going to hit break in like 2 minutes, 7:15. 7:20 is when the next segment starts. And it seems like we're going to be able to get him on then. I apologize, guys. If you're tuning in for Beer City Bruiser, I appreciate it. We're live each and every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Just a Bit Outside Radio on BeExposedRadio.com. And hey, if you're local or somewhat local, if you love sports, check us out. Every week, 7 to 9 p.m. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. We're on Google Podcast, or Google Play, Apple Podcast. So I promise you, we're going to work on this. I know you guys can hear Beer City. I'm seeing the comments on the feed. You guys can hear them. Unfortunately, I couldn't. And the fun thing about an interview is listening, being able to talk to them. So we're going to get everything figured out. Just a Bit Outside Radio show on Be Exposed Radio. Don't go away. I promise. One more time to get to the same.
Exposed Radio.
Well, if you made them, take care of them.
Yeah, that's
period.
Real. You right. That's the real deal.
It's period.
You right. And all that old money shouldn't go toward this. Money should go to if the child is with one of the parents 24/7, 7 days a week. You don't even come get your child every day. You come get your child once a month maybe, or once every 3 months.
Right.
You cannot dictate where that money goes, especially if the child ain't calling you about nothing. Now, if the child calling you every week, then you can question about where the child support is going. But if every time you pick up the child, they look nice, they ain't complaining about nothing, why are you worrying about where the money go at?
It is what it is. Radio.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Black by Demand radio show.
2 years ago. If you broke that bike and it don't work, that's on you, brother. I suggest you get that toolkit out back and then start working with it, right? Yeah. So my son's looking at me like, wow. And I broke down to him how we had got fixing flat tires down to a science. You understand what I mean? Sticking the tube in the water. Right? Talk to me, brother. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, critical thinking. And seeing we look at that now and like kids, they not as on hands like we were back in the day.
That's because nowadays you don't have to put the bikes together anymore. They can come assembled.
Yeah, everything's coming assembled.
In the store, they ask you like if you want it already assembled.
Right.
Back then, you just got the box with 1 million pieces.
Right, and today I don't think they could work with that.
It's just like the thought process. Nowadays, you get a bike that's already put together. Now, when you were younger, you had to put this bike together.
You got to put it together.
That basically closes your mind into learning how to do something.
Yes.
Now you're giving it something. So, okay, you take this. And this is what it is.
Right.
So now we have to run with this instead of teaching the child. This is how you put this together, so you will see the result as this.
Right. Critical thinking. I like that. So look, not to cut you off, Mr. Denise, but let's go to our first commercial break, and then we're gonna come back and finish talking about critical thinking.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Be Exposed Radio.
It's a family affair if you want to look at it that way.
It is. I totally agree, and I believe I believe that this wisdom on the wall is going to be a movement, and that's what I believe we are doing. Is we're creating a movement where people essentially, even after we've presented in these workshops, then they'll be inspired to sort of document some of the things that they've gone through and empower somebody else. So it'll be like a chain effect. So they'll see that, we were just three women who have gone through various things and experiences in our lives, and we just took the opportunity to sit down, put it in a book, and then it'll be a movement, and then other women will be inspired to do the same thing. Let me tell you, we are better together. We are so much better together, family. I'm telling you. When we band together, put our resources and our experiences together, we can create a movement, and that's what it's about, inspiring people to do more than what they may currently see of their own lives, that they can do so much more. So, yeah.
You are exactly right.
The Inspired Radio Show. Tune in every Wednesday from 7 to 9 for Flashback.
Now, I'm not gonna say all Aries don't know, but
it's just the one you had. That was just
a particular one, right? You know. Yeah. But it's always something that you can.
Go ahead, listen. Can you recollect any signs that you might like?
October 15th or 16th. What is that?
And Libras.
See, I've had some good Libras and I had one really bad Libra, but he was white, so he f***ed his back anyway. So I don't.
Wait, hold on, wait a minute. Demonstrate. You got to demonstrate the back.
No. Ain't no way.
Not the day. How they bust? But show how they bust.
And they want to cry afterwards. I mean, what the f*** is the point of the tears? I mean, I can see you shake, yeah, and shake it off real quick. But you crying? F*** out of here.
What was he crying for?
Cause baby, this pussy make that. You in? I got that good nasty bitch. The shame.
McLean's Couch every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run. The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right.
They were going into that National series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game. That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You Padres just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
how much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the margin of victory, kind of.
Right.
So when you're in a negative number, that means that you're
then your average game you're losing
by a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, a number like negative 65, this early in the season is pretty rough.
That's horrible.
The pitching numbers pretty much support this stat right here. I mean, the team ERA is 4.70, which is 26th in the league. They have 126 walks allowed. They acquired Jared Weaver in the offseason, and he really has not panned out. He's off to one of the worst starts in any of the pitchers in 2017. He's 0-4 with a 6.05 ERA. In May alone, he already has 12 earned runs. 12 earned runs in May. And, another one of their pitchers, Clayton Richard, he's 2-4 with a 4.34 ERA. And, in May, he has 6 earned runs and 12 innings pitched. So they're not pitching well. And on top of that, they are also not batting well.
Right. But it kind of sucks because Manuel Margot is doing pretty good. His the past few at bats, his last
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, Just a Bit Outside Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. You're checking us out on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. Always check us out on Google Play or Apple Podcasts. And I think we finally have our issues worked out. Beer City Bruiser, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm here.
All right, finally. I'm so happy to get those issues worked out, and so happy to have you joining us tonight.
I'm glad to be here.
You know, I have to admit, I didn't really know too much of your work outside of Ring of Honor before when I got the interview with you. And then I started looking into it, and I was kind of amazed. You've been wrestling since 2000.
Yeah, I'm going on my 18th year now in the professional wrestling business. It's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun.
And you were trained by Harley Race?
I originally broke in with a guy named Trevor Adonis here in Milwaukee, and he showed me the basics. I was here for about 2 years, and then I moved to Missouri, and that's when I trained under Harley. So I would say I went to like grade school, high school at Trevor, and I went to college.
And then you moved your full family out to Kansas City?
No, at the time it was just me and a girl that I was dating.
Okay.
We moved to, it's a little town called Eldon, which is actually the halfway point between St. Louis and Kansas City. It's literally 8 hours from everywhere. So like if you leave a major city, it's 8 hours from Eldon, which sucks when you have to get outside bookings and stuff, because no matter what, you're in a truck for 8 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I moved down there and trained down there for about 4 years, under Harley, and then I felt like I was becoming more of the trainer than the trainee, so that's why I decided to move back to Wisconsin. I had kids and stuff, they were here back in Wisconsin, and you miss them and stuff like that, so that's when I moved back to Milwaukee.
Okay. You did the bulk of your wrestling prior to Ring of Honor in the Midwest?
Yep, I was all over the Midwest, here in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, Iowa, Ohio, pretty much anywhere, South Dakota, North Dakota, up in Canada a couple times.
Okay.
Basically, anywhere I could get a booking, I'd take it. I even drove out to like to Carolinas a couple times for bookings. When I was living down in Missouri, I got a lot of bookings in like Texas and Arkansas and stuff like that. So pretty much anywhere I could get a booking, that's where I want to wrestle.
I was actually kind of surprised when I was checking out your stuff on YouTube. Arizona is not necessarily a hotbed of wrestling, but you were in my hometown of Tucson at the Desert Diamond Casino for a wrestling show there too.
Yeah, that actually came about. My parents moved to Arizona. My dad had some health issues, and the humidity and stuff here in Wisconsin doesn't treat him very well. So we moved to Arizona where it's that dry heat, no humidity.
Oh, yeah.
And we were actually visiting them. My wife and I were visiting them for over the holidays. And I just put online, getting used to the Arizona weather. And the Arizona promoter says, hey, if you're in town, I'm doing a show in Tucson. I said, that's my dad. I said, how far is Tucson? He said, it's only about an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. So decided to take the booking and made our way to Tucson and kind of made a day of it. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Speaking of towns, though, you're going to be in town this Friday. Ring of Honor, Glory by Honor.
Yep. Glory by Honor comes from I believe it's the college campus out there. And me and my partner, Brian Malonis, are taking on the Briscoe brothers, the tag team champions in a non-title match. Basically just to prove that we're worthy of getting the title shot.
And you mentioned your partner, Brian Malonis. You guys haven't been together terribly long. I was looking at the card for Best in the World, which was at the same event center back in June, and I was there, and I could have sworn you were on the card, but it didn't show you listed.
I was not on the pay-per-view card. I actually just did commentary on that show.
Oh, okay.
Styles and I came out during the Kenny King Austin Aries match. We were doing commentary. So I wasn't actually wrestling on the card. I was just doing the commentary for that. But I was there. It was a lot of fun. Baltimore's a great town. I've been there. This is going to be my third time there. So I'm still trying to experience everything that Baltimore has to offer. The first time I was there, Silas Young and I tagged against the Addiction. And had a really good match for them for Ring of Honor TV. Like I said, we did the pay-per-view there, and we just did commentary, and now we got Glory by Honor coming up where we're going to, it's the Bouncers against the Briscoe brothers in a non-title match.
You were here at June for Best in the World. I'm sure you recall that the Briscoes had a very large contingent of people in the stands.
Yeah, I heard they had a bus full of people drive. I guess they're not too far from there.
Yeah, they're from Delaware.
Pop Briscoe got a bus full of people, and they all drove to the pay-per-view. They had I remember watching the match and hearing the Let's Go Briscoe chants. I'm like, man, there's a lot of Briscoe fans out there. And I think it was the first time any Ring of Honor show I've been on where I saw more Briscoe shirts than I did Bullet Club shirts.
And they were rabid fans. Like, they were ridiculously loud. Obviously, that kind of means you're headed into hostile territory.
I don't mind hostile territory. I've been in hostile territory before. I'm a big Packers fan, and I've gone to the Chicago Bears Stadium to watch Packer games. So, not like I said, big Brewers fan too. And we just made the playoffs, beating the Cubs. And I've been to a couple of Cubs games, so I'm fine with hostile territory. I like to drink and fight, and I know when we go into the ring with the Briscoe brothers, this is about my, I think, 20th time in the ring with those guys. I know definitely there's going to be a fight, and afterwards there's going to be a lot of drinking.
And you've been in the ring with them before.
Yeah, Silas and I, my first time against them was actually one of my favorite matches I've had. Silas Young and I against the Briscoe brothers in Collinsville, Illinois. And it was, we destroyed the ringside area. I mean, it was a battle. Just a battle. And then recently in Virginia, the Bouncers, Brian Malonis and I, we took on the Briscoe brothers for Ring of Honor TV. And it was another fight. Like I said, it's not a rep. I don't want anyone to come into the show expecting us to have a pure technical wrestling match. I mean, you're gonna experience with us hard hitting. It's like a barroom fight.
Yeah. You've mentioned Silas Young being your tag team partner a couple times previously. He's going to be challenging for the World Championship coming up this Friday.
Yeah, him and Jay Lethal are reigniting their feud they had last year. Last year, if you go back, one of the best feuds in Ring of Honor was Jay Lethal versus Silas Young, and it culminated in a last man standing match in Vegas, actually, that Silas won. I was a part of that feud. I wrestled Jay a couple times in singles matches to get him softened up for Silas, And now that Jay's the world champion again, Silas looks at it as an opportunity to put some more gold around his waist. You know, he's a former Ring of Honor television champion. So beating Jay Lethal for the world championship, that's just icing on the cake. And that'll be another great match. Like, you want to see some technical fighting, technical wrestling along with some actual brawling, that's the match to watch. That's gonna steal the show.
And Silas, he's like a throwback to like an '80s style wrestler to me. He seems like a Rick Rude type.
Yeah, he's a real man. Like he talks about it all the time, being a real man and the last real man. And the thing is, it's not a gimmick for Silas. That's how Silas is 24/7. You know, I traveled with him even before we both got in the Ring of Honor. I used to travel with him because we're from the same area. You know, and you hear about him being all rough and gruff and drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes and being a real man and all that. That's not a shtick, man. That's him, 100%. You know. So his character, what you see on screen, you know, if you run into him at the airport, expect the same exact thing.
How did you and Brian Malonis get together as a tag team?
When Ring of Honor introduced the World Six-Man titles, Silas and I put our names in the hat because we wanted to win them. And the Ring of Honor office said that we couldn't win them together. We had to have a third person with us. And we tried to explain to them we don't get along with people. We just don't like people. And so we tried to make the keg our third partner, and they said that wasn't possible. We couldn't have, it's an inanimate object. So we did like a series of applications of different like guys coming in, and no one really lived up to it. Well, Malonis at the time was going through the Top Prospect tournament and making waves in that. And then I remember we were in Lowell, Massachusetts, and Ring of Honor put me and Malonis in a singles match, and man, we beat the hell out of each other. I ended up pulling the win out of it, but he was one of those guys where at the end of it, I kind of looked at him like, this guy got something. So I told Silas, hey, I found a third guy for us so we can get these six-man titles. He's just as tough as us. He's bigger than us, and he can hold his own. So in Philadelphia, after the Kenny King, Malonis and Kenny King wrestled, Silas was in a feud at the time with Kenny King over the Ring of Honor television title. We got in, started putting the boots to Kenny, and Malonis came in and joined us. And I told Silas, hey man, you're focused on singles gold, I want to be able to wear some gold, so let me take Malonis. We'll go after the tag team championships, and then once we have those, the three of us will get together, and we'll win the Ring of Honor World Six-Man titles. And that's kind of how it all happened.
And now here you are Friday, hoping to earn a chance at the regular tag team titles.
Not hoping to. I know we're going to. Oh yeah, we've been proving ourselves to the Ring of Honor matchmakers, if you will. They recently put us in a six-man tag team title match with us versus the Young Bucks and Cody. We ended up going 20 minutes with them in Philadelphia, which is a real loud and vivacious crowd, and we ended up going toe-to-toe with them. Silas ended up leaving the match, so they ended up taking advantage of the 2-on-3 situation and beat us, but I guarantee you we opened up some eyes with that. Plus, after our last match with the Briscoe brothers, we took them to the limit, so they're not taking us too lightly, and I guarantee you you're gonna see a fight Friday night. Oh,
no doubt about that. You mentioned Philadelphia a little bit ago, and Glory by Honor continues Sunday night in Philadelphia. And I know you have the Chris Jericho Rock and Roll Rager at Sea coming up later in the month. Is there any other shows that you're doing soon?
We also got, when we get back from the Chris Jericho cruise, we have television tapings in Pittsburgh and Ohio, and then we have the Global Wars tour that starts up. That's hitting the East Coast. It's going to be in, I think we're doing our first show in Rhode Island. We got Lowell, Massachusetts on there, Buffalo, New York, and Toronto. And that's going to bring in, that's the tour when we'll always bring in the New Japan guys, and then we'll see Ring of Honor versus New Japan, which is always an exciting time.
Oh, for sure.
We got that coming up after the Chris Jericho cruise that first weekend. It's actually the first 2 weeks of November, so I'm looking forward to that.
And hopefully you'll have your tag team title match by then.
Hopefully after we're done here, you know, they finally just put us in a match with the Briscoes and put the titles on the line.
For sure, for sure. How can the listeners, how can they watch Glory by Honor?
If they're Honor Club members, you just go on the Honor Club app and you'll be able to live stream it there. If you're not an Honor Club member, go to ROHWrestling.com, click on the Honor Club. I believe it's like $9.99 a month, and it's totally worth it. You get all of our live shows. So, for instance, Glory by Honor this weekend, you'll get the whole Global Wars tour on there. Plus, you can go back, watch older television episodes. You can go back, watch older pay-per-view matches, older house shows. It goes all the way back to when Ring of Honor was first created.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah, it's totally worth it. If you're a wrestling fan, you're a Ring of Honor fan, I suggest becoming an Honor Club member. Plus, you get some deals and stuff like that at the Ring of Honor shop. I just had a new shirt released, so I'm pretty sure if you're an Honor Club member, you save some money on that. You know, so go to ringofhonorwrestling.com or ROHWrestling.com and become an Honor Club member.
Sounds good. Looking forward to seeing you in Baltimore. I definitely hope to make it Friday. And, you know, there's an awesome beer scene here, so I think you're going to enjoy it.
I've heard that. Last time I was there, I had a couple good beers. Every time I come into a new city, I try to find out what the local flavor is and give it a try. Now that we have a day off in between Saturday and Sunday, I'm looking at Saturday of trying a few of those Baltimore beers.
Okay. Is there like a particular kind of beer you like, or just whatever hits your fancy?
My favorite kind of beer, because I'm a Midwest guy, is whenever I go out east is Yuengling. We don't have that here in the Midwest.
Okay.
So going out east, I always try to make a point, hey, I'm going to drink some Yuengling this weekend, because we can't get it by us, and I love it.
Yeah.
If there's no Yuengling available, I'm here in the Midwest, I'm a Miller Lite guy. You know, I'm Milwaukee born and bred, you know, so Miller Lite is the thing that I drink. I love drinking that. And like I said, I'm a beer lover. So when I get into a city, if a local comes up to me and says, "Hey, you need to try this local craft beer," you know, I'm all for it. Like, go ahead, give me beer. I will try it. I love it. I love finding new stuff.
Absolutely. Hey, a little bit later in the show, we're actually going to have the owner of the Brass Tap in studio, and they have tons of beers on tap.
Okay. Well, let them know that the Bruiser loves to drink beer.
Absolutely, I will.
Yeah, they can reach out to me on social media. I wouldn't mind stopping by and sampling some of those beers.
Okay. Maybe I'll hook them up.
Sounds good.
I appreciate the interview. I apologize for the technical difficulties earlier. But thank you very much for coming on, Bruiser.
No problem. Thanks for having me, and I'll see you guys on Friday.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Beer City Bruiser with Ring of Honor Wrestling, and I'm very sorry that you know, we just kind of jumped into that interview, but I neglected to introduce Brian Waters of the Wrestling Realm. You have a show yourself, looking at wrestling?
Yeah, so I have Break It Down with Brian H., which is the podcast, but it's all brought to you under the Wrestling Realm umbrella. Wrestling Realm was established in 2011 by myself and my co-host, the real Dwayne Allen, which is on YouTube and on Facebook, where you can find, we have different segments. So we have the formal show where we just talk about timeless material, but we also have a segment we just debuted this year called Riding with the Realm, which you can find on our Instagram page, where you'll see us. We were on our way to BlurCon in DC, so you know, the best wrestling conversations happen on the road. So we said, look, we riding with the realm, give people an opportunity just to see what the conversations are like when the real Dwayne Allen and I are together. We always say that we have a show every day, you know, because it's my best friend, so I talk to him every morning just about. So we have a show every day. It's just a matter of letting the world in on it. We also have a segment called Give Me the Book, which is on our YouTube channel. So like Dwayne was not a fan of how Bret Hart was booked in WCW. Oh. So we redid it. So make sure you check that out on youtube.com/The Wrestling Realm. I was not a fan of WrestleMania 2000's finish. Okay. I thought the pay-per-view was good up until Triple H went over. So what we do, we rebooked it. So not going to tell you how we rebooked those, but check it out.
And you're on YouTube, Facebook, pretty much all the social media.
Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify.
Okay. Is it just The Wrestling Realm, like all one word?
The Wrestling Realm. You know, you might can see the shirt.
Okay.
So.
It's weird. I had my outro music, then it stopped.
Oh.
WWE had a huge show go down. We're going to go break to soon. Actually, we're going to go break now. But when we get back, I want to talk about the show because some stuff happened. Yeah. Mark, just about outside radio show. We'll be right back.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd
on.
you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Just a Bit Outside radio show.
There is one glaring stat that I read about while watching the games over the weekend. New York Yankees went 22 straight innings with at least one strikeout.
Really?
That's a major league record for the postseason.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting statistic.
It is. You know, and then when you think about it, it's like, okay, you know, that, to me, that's like a big reason why, you know, they're losing right now.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org.
Because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bathwater to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's time to move your child into the next type of seat? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/therightseat. That's safercar.gov/therightseat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
Home Walk Restaurant. Need a review?
No.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Spit Outside Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. You're checking us out on Facebook, on YouTube, Google Play, Apple Podcast. Man, I always have a spicy moment, we call it on the show. You know where to find us. We appreciate you checking us out each and every week. 7 to 9 live Mondays, or you can download us anytime. Share the link, share the love. That's what we say. You're watching us, share it with your friends. If you're in Baltimore and you love Baltimore sports, share it out that way. If you like wrestling, share it that way to your wrestling friends. We appreciate it. Sitting here with Brian Waters, Wrestling Realm. Like I said, there was a big show in Australia WWE put on this weekend. First question, did you wake up early enough to catch it from the beginning?
4:45.
Oh, man. I tried because it took place in the evening in Australia.
Yeah.
Started 5 a.m. here. I woke up at 5:54 and it's oh man, turned it on, got to watch most of it that way.
What was so difficult was the day before WWE 2K19 came out.
Yeah.
So usually I would have been playing that all night, probably till 4. But I was like, all right, we're gonna go sleep around 11, and it seemed like I blinked my eyes. I heard the alarm. I was like, all right, get up. And then, unfortunately for me, my kids decided to get up around 5:25, 6 o'clock. I'm like, wait, y'all supposed to be asleep. So,
that's the way it goes.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. It was worth it.
It was a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Started off with the Tag Team Championship, New Day against The Bar.
Yeah.
New Day retained. What match really just stood out to you?
Man, without a doubt, Buddy Murphy versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship. Match of the night for me. I think because I was, a Cedric Alexander fan, being here in Baltimore, we watched him at Ring of Honor and then Caprice Coleman, and it was a time when I really wanted them to become tag team champions. But that was a time when Cedric was really still kind of really finding himself.
Yeah.
And but watching him and then watching his journey to the WWE, and I was like, wow, man, he won the title at WrestleMania, it was great. But I'm one of the people you can't hold the titles forever, and just seeing Buddy Murphy emerge, where he was with Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss and NXT, and it was like, all right, they're cool, but how far can they really go? And then when you see Alexa Bliss get called up, she was, I believe, the last pick for SmackDown, and in my opinion, one of the best women on the roster. I know a lot of people, everybody loves Sasha Banks and Bayley, but to me, give me Alexa Bliss any day of the week.
Yeah.
And then, but you kind of see Buddy Murphy kind of get lost in the sauce. When he came down to the 205 weight, and I watched him, he had this whole different attitude. And I got to shout out to my partner, the real Dwayne Allen, because he was like, man, take a look at Buddy Murphy. And I did, and I'm like, wow, he's that guy. So I'm glad they waited till then because it made him winning at home so much more special. It reminds me of when Naomi won. I was at WrestleMania 33, and when she won the title in Orlando, it was a big deal. So to see him win the title there, and it was the first time he won the title. Unlike with Naomi, they put the title on her at Extreme Rules, Elimination Chamber, and then there's like, oh, well, she had to drop it just to get it back. I like that. It was a crowning moment.
Absolutely. That segment went fast. It seems like the music just started. Actually, it did, just the outro. I'm going to see if we can keep this going. Mark, just a Westside Radio Show. Be right back.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council. My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org.
You're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, Just a Bit Outside Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. As you can see, Brian and I have been joined by Michael Lowenthal of the Brass Tap.
How you doing, Mark? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Before the break, we were talking WWE Super Showdown in Australia. We're going to get back to that, but real quick, I wanted to bring in Michael here and kind of talk about the Brass Tap. Keisha and I, we were there 2 weeks ago for our first live remote, which we are eternally grateful for you hosting us.
It went really well. I look forward. I know Keisha had kind of reached out to me as being a regular customer and saying she'd like to do something out in the field, and I think we're both trying to be the same thing. You know, we're the neighborhood, the Baltimore neighborhood roots, and who we want to be, and I think it's a really nice match. And right now, perfect time to do it, lead into Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a great marriage.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. We've discussed it kind of offline, and I think Keisha and I may have mentioned it. No, because she left.
Right.
She's off globetrotting in Europe. looking like the October 22nd is going to be the next live remote. Looking forward to it. But the Brass Tap has other stuff going on.
Yeah, so I mean, it really works out well for us that we start on the 22nd, because starting this Friday, the 12th, you'll see all kinds of great events throughout Baltimore for Baltimore Beer Week. Baltimore has a really good craft beer tradition, and you know, we want to be a part of that. We have 60 taps and 2 cask beers on, so we have anywhere from 50 to 60 beers. We're kind of winding some out so we can bring new stuff on, so I'm not tapping anything, because we're going to start Friday with some latest releases from Baltimore. So things like Lord Baltimore will be out there, some great beers, the Union Vault, so really celebrating what Baltimore's doing now. Baltimore's got a real change in beer right now. A lot of people are doing some small batch beers, you're seeing a lot of new stuff. It should be a great week. I think the headline for our week is going to be Thursday. It'll be our 2nd annual Women in Brewing. We did it last year. We had 3 women involved. This year we have 7. So big growth there.
Absolutely. And we talked about it a couple weeks back on the show. But refresh our memory. Like you're going to have 7 women that are involved in brewing in Baltimore.
Right. So one of the biggest things that's kind of happened in the Baltimore scene, one of the more interesting things, is that Guinness decided to locate their, it's not their first, but they had one open and it closed, so their first one now, and it's the only one they're planning on having a brewery. A great place to go for a tour, and Holly Stevenson is one of their, I think they have 7 brewers, and she's going to be there, so that's a nice headline. We've got 2 young ladies from Union. Lynn, who's been with Union for a while, has done a lot of stuff. We also have 2 owners. Judy, who just opened one with her husband over the summer, a brewery called Checker Spot, and then Julie from Denizens, it's down in Silver Spring. So, you know, kind of a range, and we also have representation from Charm City Meadery, Hillary, who's been with them pretty much since the start, so we'll see, you know, some mead to go with the beer as well, so a lot of fun stuff.
I remember one of the brewers you were telling me about had a background in science.
Yeah, Judy from Checker Spot. She she was a chemist, and so she did that. She got into home brewing, and she and her husband decided to start a brewery. So yeah, I mean, I kind of see baking and brewing very similar in that there's a lot of science to it. There's definitely art, but if you don't have the science or the art, neither side works.
Have you tried their stuff?
I've had a few of their beers. I don't know the exact, I can't remember the address, but it's near the stadium, so I went for their opening night, or opening day when they started, because when they started brewing, they did a lot of brewing, partnership brewing, so they were helping other people, and so they had their own brewery, you know, and that was the big thing they said, is now we're on our own, and we don't have to partner with Heavy Seas or somebody like that, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Just that background in chemistry, that sounds cool, to want to try their beer just because of that.
Yeah, I mean, then, you know, there's so much out there, and there's so much going on. You know, one of the things we're doing Fridays is we'll be putting out Monument City's Roadway, which is a third of their series, their Haven series. Haven is where they're located, and that's donating money from their sales to different cleanup projects, you know, trying to keep the harbor clean. So roadways will be for the roads. They did a waterways, and I don't remember what the first one was, but you know, everybody in the craft beer business is generally part of the community too. So they're giving back and trying to do that, and that's going to be a version of their 51 Rye, a double version. So I'm interested to see what they do with that.
Okay. After Baltimore Beer Week, what are you looking at?
After Baltimore Beer Week, the next big thing will be getting ready for Halloween. We're going to do a thing with Rogue. We have a beer called Dead Guy. So we're putting that on, kind of celebrating Halloween. You know, we all think of that side of the fence when we think of Halloween. And we're always looking to work with breweries and people to put events on. Actually, this month is Brass Tap. It's an organization, it's their 10th anniversary. So they worked with Uinta, and we have an anniversary special dry hop blonde on from Uinta that we'll have on all month. It's an anniversary beer for Brass Tap.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, you know, as you guys, talking to you, Mark and Keisha, they want to be a part of the community. They want to represent the community's view on sports, and we want to be the community with beer. So that's the tie-in for us with you, and I think we have a great product and you know, kind of an upscale, nicer place to go. A lot of TVs for this time of year when there's 400,000 sporting events going on with the hockey and basketball and the playoffs and football. And a great place to go. And we're celebrating also with college football. We do all-day happy hour on Saturdays.
One of Keisha's favorite events there.
Yeah, and then on Sundays we're doing various buckets of beer to you know, for people who want to sit out and kind of take your time drinking beer while you're watching pro football.
Sorry, lost my train of thought there. Are you doing anything, like you mentioned the Halloween beer, are you doing like any event Halloween night?
Yeah, we're going to actually, not on Halloween night, we're finalizing the date. It looks like we'll do it Friday the 26th. We'll probably do a costume contest.
Okay.
We did that last year. It was a fun night for everybody, you know. Typically Halloween doesn't get the crawl. People aren't out as much because it's the middle of the week.
Yeah.
So doing it on the weekend gives everybody a chance when they don't have to be at work the next day to go out and celebrate Halloween in an adult fashion.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then after Halloween, kind of events coming up?
We don't have anything definitely scheduled per se. A lot of our events happen depending upon what breweries are releasing. So we try to do non-tapping events. We did one with Hysteria a few weeks ago where we had 4 beers that were just coming out. So we do that. We'll do, depending upon what's going on with the pumpkin beers, we might put several of those on. You know, that's that time of year, right? Everybody loves the pumpkin spice and all that. Or not.
Some people do.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's like a huge difference between like a pumpkin ale and like a pumpkin spice kind of beer. There's some pumpkin beers out there that are just amazing.
Yeah, we actually went through a couple yesterday. We finished off a couple kegs. We're putting on new ones all the time. We change our kegs about 14 to 20 a week. So, you know, if you come in on a Monday one week and Friday the next week, it's going to be a pretty different menu. It might be halfway changed. And, you know, we try to keep our beer representation of at least 50% what we call local regional. Sometimes that switches a little bit depending upon what events are going on, but you're always going to be able to find some local IPA and some other great local beers as well.
Also, can't discount the food there. The Brass Tap has some great food.
Yeah, you know, full pub menu. Everything is from burgers to fish and chips, which are hand battered in house. Everything is made by us. You know, we're not contracting out. And I think one of the big things a lot of people find is something that they love is our house-made tater tots. You know, you're not getting those little barrels like you normally get when you go out. So it's a really nice product.
Next time I bring my son, I'll have to have him try the tater tots. He's a big fan of the pretzel bites.
Yeah. Everybody, who doesn't like a good pretzel, right? Exactly. Pretzel and beer is a great way to spend an afternoon or evening watching a ball game.
Before you came on to start off the show, we had an interview with a wrestler, Beer City Bruiser.
Yeah, I heard some parts of that.
Yeah, I was telling him, you know, about your place that you know, tons of beers on tap. He said when he goes to different cities, he likes to try different beers. Maybe you send him your way.
Yeah, he's coming in this weekend, right?
Friday night.
Yeah, so he's coming in at a perfect time if he's looking for a beer scene. Baltimore's got a burgeoning beer scene at a time when events will be going on everywhere. I always encourage people to go to the breweries, try the beers, find out what's going on. You know, we've got new breweries opening all the time, which amazes me that the market can support it, but it says Baltimore's really a beer town.
Oh, absolutely. It's got its roots down in Natty Bow, you know, like long before they moved.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, you look at what started with Heavy Seas and what people have continued to do. It's a lot of great beers, and it's a competitive market, so it's a good time to be drinking beer because people have got to make good stuff or they're going to struggle. So people are pushing the envelope and trying a lot of different things.
Absolutely. Was there anything that you wanted to mention while you're here?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing to do is remember not everybody likes the same thing.
Yeah.
And find what you like, but try other stuff. Don't get married to stuff. And what you think is true about a style or a color of beer is true probably just for the most part. There's some really great beers that kind of twist your mind. You know, you think you know what you're getting. You're like, oh wait, I wouldn't have expected that. There's some dark beers that drink like a lighter beer and the other way around. And you know, the big thing that people talk about is stouts being heavy, and then you look at the ABV. The alcohol by volume is around 4 or 5%, which is the same as a Budweiser.
Yeah.
As opposed to your double IPAs, where you're trying to get to 8 to 10%.
I think I threw your bartender off when we were there, because I asked for the flight, you know, 4 little sample beers, and he's like, "What do you like?" I was like, "Everything." Like, I'm not picking my beer. Like, I appreciate double IPAs and all that, but I'll go with you know, a Hefeweizen or just anything. So I was just like, surprise me, throw something at me, and he did, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, one of the other really cool events we have coming on is this Saturday. So the 13th, we're doing barrel aged beers. So we have 5 different barrel aged beers we have on. So some beers you might recognize, a Gonzo Porter from Flying Dog that's been barrel aged. Palo Santo from Dogfish Head, once again barrel aged. And then one I'm really interested in trying, I haven't had this particular one, from Wicked Weed, called French Toast.
Oh, really?
So it's going to have those kind of French toast flavors, which you're seeing a lot of people add some things you don't normally think of with beer. And then we're following that up. Monday we're actually doing an event that will be with Wicked Weed with 4 of their beers on. They're known for having 2 breweries. They have one, their regular brewery, and their Funkatorium, where they do a lot of sours and saisons and things like that. So you see a lot of experimental stuff coming out of there. And I think it's always fun to try stuff that is new and different.
The Women in Beer, it's not your only event for Beer Week?
No, we have events every night. So
every night.
Friday with new beers, the barrel age night. Sunday we're doing Eastern Shore, so welcoming our friends from the Eastern Shore. We'll have 4 breweries from there: Tall Tales, RAR, Burley Oak, and Evolution. Monday, as I said, would be Wicked Weed. Tuesday we're doing small breweries. And with that, I didn't come up with a number, but breweries who have to self-distribute. So those guys who are, they have to bust their hump as well just to sell their beer to the public as opposed to a distributor. Wednesday, we're doing a cider, mead, and cheesecake night. So Windridge, which is just up the road in Dallastown, the mead will be, as I said earlier, Charm City Louis and Hiatus Cheesecake. So kind of an interesting night, support some local people who do some things you may not think of as beer, but hey, we all like cheesecake and it's a good time. Women in Beer, then Friday's going to be an interesting event. We're having 3 breweries bring in a lighter beer. We'll have Skipjack from Union, we'll have DC Brow Pills, and we'll have Hellas from Crooked Crab, which is a new and up-and-coming brewery, and that'll be a Kill the Keg night. Whoever kills the keg first, we're going to give them six months. We'll guarantee that they have a line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's fun, and then we'll do a DC Tap Takeover on Saturday, and then to round it all up, we were thinking, what do we get people to remember? So we're going to go with remember the cores, the beers that everybody started with, from 51 Rye to Loose Cannon to Duck Pen, the beers that kind of make Baltimore who it is. And how often do you hear somebody go out and it's a Resurrection or one of those? That's what everybody thinks of when they're thinking of Baltimore beer.
Union Craft.
Yeah, Union Craft. Yeah. But Heavy Seas really got it started with theirs, and you used to see those all the time, and now there's so much beer out there that sometimes those get pushed to the edge. So I thought I'd bring them together and say, hey, if you want to try out the ones you started with as your craft beer experience in Baltimore, they'll all be in one place for a little while anyway.
And you mentioned like the craft beer scene here is quite large, expansive, but it doesn't seem like it's overcrowded.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough demand, obviously, or they wouldn't be able to open. And I think one of the things you're seeing is a lot of places are doing a really good job with the tasting room. They're making it an experience to go visit them that you can take your whole family.
Yeah.
When I was saying when I went to Checker Spot, there were a lot of toddlers there, and it's not the dark bar type scene that it probably was at one point, or the Union moved, as you mentioned Union, and they moved into a much bigger, brighter space. They had a pretty small space before, and now they got a huge space with a huge outdoor area. So it's a family event when people go out.
Michael, I want to thank you for coming in. Brass Tap at Fitzgerald is Mount Royal Avenue.
Yeah, 505 West Mount Royal, right at the Mount Royal light rail stop, right between UBE and Micah. All right.
There you have it. Just a bit outside radio show. Be right back.
All right, thanks.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Here's what you missed on Salacious Life Radio.
When it comes to your children, especially if you're dating someone that you actually like, you do want it to work. So you're gonna hope and encourage the relationship between your child and that person because you like that person, you know, so you're gonna hope for the best. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it just doesn't work, and you can't make it work. You can't force it. It's like a branch. You keep bending it. Eventually, it'll snap, and even if you put it back together, it'll never be what it once was. But you definitely pray on it. You hope for the best, you know, because like nobody wants to spend the rest of their life alone just because a particular relationship didn't work out, but you had this beautiful creature as a result of it, you know. But you don't want to necessarily spend and you're not all of a sudden a bad person. You're not all of a sudden not going to fulfill this other person's needs.
You, madam, are a harlot and a scoundrel.
Because I had one kid while I was still married. Like,
but what if you? I take that back.
What if the situation turns around the other way? So you ready for your child to meet? They meet the person, and this person is a giver. So this person's buying your child lots of gifts and wanting to.
I would usually.
Do you let?
You don't like if it's a birthday or some sort of holiday or something like that. Okay, and they want to get them a few things or get them something. Okay, but just on like a regular basis, like unless it's like Nestle's Quick or something that you can get from like, you know what I'm saying, or like Kit Kats or something like that. Like, no, don't spend a lot of money. It's unrealistic.
I'm sorry.
It's unrealistic. Like, don't try to buy his.
Tune in live to Salacious Life Radio every Wednesday from 9 to 11, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Radio show on BeExposedRadio.com. Thanks to Mike from the Brass Tap for stopping by, talking about his Baltimore Beer Week events. Starts this Friday. Looking forward to it. Do you have beer, man?
No, not really.
Whiskey or?
No, I used to, you know, indulge a little bit of this rock.
Okay.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Water.
What I dig about the Brass Tap is like it's like a bright, friendly atmosphere. Like he was saying, it's not like the dingy kind of dives like we used to see back in the day. Like I took my kid there.
Yeah, the food option was, you know.
Yeah.
Listening to talk about some good fish and chips and stuff. I was like, oh man, go check that out. Food alone.
That definitely. Yeah. Fish tacos, man.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So now that Mike's come in and talked about the Brass Tap, we're going to get back to WWE Super Showdown in Australia. You were talking about the Buddy Murphy Cedric Alexander match.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, that was one of the best matches on the card.
Yeah.
Like you said, Buddy Murphy, his evolution since coming to 205 Live. And I think when he got there was when Vince McMahon was still in charge of the show.
Yeah.
And then Triple H took it over and it's seen a resurgence.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's awesome for him to be able to win it like in his home country, his hometown.
You could hear the pop. Like as soon as he went out there and he got that 3 count and just seeing the crowd react. Because I didn't feel like I got that reaction that I was looking for from the Iconics. But I definitely got it from Murphy.
And I was surprised the Iconics got the win too. Like,
oh, I had them win.
Really?
Yeah, I figured they would win. It was home. Plus, looking up, they was getting beat for the past 2 weeks by Naomi and Asuka or some combination. I was like, yeah, they'll win in Australia.
Well, it seems like maybe it's more Triple H's influence because Vince usually likes to humble people, make them lose in their hometown.
Right.
So when the Iconics won, I was like, oh, Buddy Murphy's going to lose.
Oh, okay.
So that was a surprise for me.
Well, I guess, too, they don't go there all the time, you know what I mean?
That's
true. One thing if it was in the States, it's like, all right, well, you would have seen them, but this is like, kind of like a homecoming, it's not easy for their family to always be there to see them live.
Absolutely. One match I wanted to hit on was Daniel Bryan and The Miz.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Like, it was a great match, don't get me wrong. I had to go back and watch it afterwards.
Okay.
Because I feel it was a short match.
Mm-hmm.
I got up, did a couple things as they were doing the ring entrances, ended up taking a little bit longer than I thought, came back, and they're like onto the promo for the next match. I was like, wait, what happened? And for those two, for their build and how long this feud's going, I thought it'd be going longer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought they were going to get like a good 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was a good match. Brian, he's had those 2 losses to Miz in the mixed tag team match and in the singles, and now he's a number 1 contender.
Yeah. So 2 things I heard. There's so much rumor and innuendo out there. One, I heard that the time, if you look at the show, was one thing, and I realized this when the show ended at pretty much 9 o'clock on the dot. I said, oh, so that's probably the reason why Daniel Bryan's match was cut short. And while I probably would have cut the Shield match short, that was primarily still the Raw brand main event.
Yeah.
So you didn't want to. And I was like, well, I guess it made sense to cut Daniel Bryan and Miz short. Only because it's still like the Miz's shoulder was up. So there's still some controversy there. So I think that story continues. As much like I really want to see Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, but I honestly would have rather waited until WrestleMania. To me, that has WrestleMania written all over it. But I understand. But I kind of think they're going to throw a swerve tomorrow. Maybe Miz will complain. We'll see a triple threat match. But I'm with you. It would have been nice to see it longer.
Yeah.
But then I also hear that possibly Daniel Bryan suffered head injury last week when he did a dive fly headbutt with Shelton Benjamin. So they said maybe they just wanted to be careful. So, I mean, we never know. I don't think he would have, if it was a head injury that was serious, I don't think he would have wrestled, especially considering flying over there. So, I think it's more about maybe timing, or they just figured, hey, we can really get in and get out, and then with it being a controversial finish, we can get back to it. And I think we'll either get Miz and AJ, or we'll get Miz, Daniel Bryan, and AJ at Crown Jewel.
Is that where the Daniel Bryan number 1 contender match is going to happen?
Yeah, Paige made the announcement pretty much immediately after the match.
And then there's been rumors that they're going to try to keep Daniel Bryan Miz going until WrestleMania.
Now, if I was booking, that would be my WrestleMania main event. I know it just said I wanted to see AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan there, but it's like, okay, well, AJ did have a title. I think you could sell that Miz Daniel Bryan feud from, I'm talking USA Network, all the reality TV shows, NBC. You remember when Miz first won the title, he was the most must-see WWE champion. I think he's much better than he was in 2011. So I think you could reinitiate that, and then you can create that yes movement. Daniel Bryan probably would never be what he was in 2014, but he can come close. And I think if you build that, we can have Miz versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 35 in New Jersey.
I dig it. I'd love to see it happen. Even though they've wrestled a couple times, like you said, introduce AJ Styles into the field.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they could do the triple threat and then go to like Miz AJ for a little while, Bryan a breather, and then bring them back together. And there's your WrestleMania.
Yeah. So, my only wish is, I don't care how it gets done, is Daniel Bryan leaves WrestleMania with the WWE Championship.
Yeah, I can dig that. To close the show, they did Triple H versus Undertaker. Shawn Michaels in Triple H's corner, Kane and Undertaker's. Obviously, there's all kinds of rumors out there that Shawn Michaels is going to be coming back.
Yeah.
Crown Jewel is rumored to be a tag team match. It's been 8 years since Shawn Michaels has been in the ring. Do you think he could go still?
Oh yeah, I think he could still go. You look at him, he's in better shape. And working out with Triple H down there in the Performance Center, he's probably like, man, if we had this when I was coming up. And we're just looking at the country where we're at now. People take their health more seriously than they did. You look at old pictures of Triple H and you see him kind of flabby. And he was always a muscle head, but maybe like some of those pictures from like the mid-2000s, he probably, delayed a little bit. But, he's in great shape. Shawn Michaels is ripped. I think I wanted him to be the one guy who didn't get back in the ring, and he's bald now. It's not the same. Like, Bruce Pritchard was talking about, oh yeah, he looks good. Like, no, HBK is not supposed to be in the ring without being HBK. I can't see him being bald, and he's just Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. I mean, he got the eyes fixed, you know, back in the day when he was still wrestling.
Yeah.
But there's no way to really fix the baldness. Chavo Guerrero did, but
yeah.
And then further rumors after Crown Jewel are Shawn Michaels and Undertaker at Survivor Series.
Oh wow, I didn't know that one.
That's what I've heard. It's,
okay. The final time.
Possibly.
So does that mean is the Undertaker going voice about this?
No, I doubt that. But we're gonna go to break. Maybe we'll keep this going. Just a Bit Outside Radio Show. We're right back.
Late 40s, early 50s. That's not uncommon. It's a lot of. I mean, I can give you examples like that.
But it's a good thing he's dead because she can actually move on. Like you can't move on. If he was alive, if he was alive and she found out she was having sex with her father for 15 years, you can't move on from that. Somebody's got to die.
You can't. It's gonna be hard.
Somebody's got to die.
So wait, that means he didn't know either, though.
Immediately, so I can stop vomiting because I don't have nothing else left to vomit. All my insides, all my skeleton.
He didn't know either. That's what would be the crazy part.
He wouldn't. He still doesn't know because he's dead. How does that game go? Marry, screw, kill? How does that work when it's your dad? Oh my gosh, we talk about stuff like this and more every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Talk Lately, the radio show. Only on BeExposedRadio.com and on YouTube live where you can see us.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange radio show.
So you're your biggest asset. Mm-hmm. You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle. You know, toxic. You know, hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right, and if your spirit does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live on BeExposedRadio.com. The Artist Exchange radio show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out.
Exactly.
Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue, and she wants to be this.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back, Just a Bit Outside Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. You're checking us out on Facebook, on YouTube, Periscope. You know how to watch us. Share the link, share the love. Sitting here with Brian Waters, the Wrestling Realm, and we were talking about a WWE Super Showdown in Australia. And as we were talking here, WWE sends out a notification. Shawn Michaels stepping back in the ring, first time since March 2010. Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, Friday, November 2nd. It's interesting. It's going to be a DX reunion for like the 137th time. Brothers of Destruction. I don't know how I would feel about that. Like it's the Dead Man and the Mayor.
Right.
And considering how the last time the WWE was in Saudi Arabia, how that show went, I'm not sold on it being such a good show.
Really? You ain't like the Greatest Royal Rumble?
It was a glorified house show.
Well, yeah.
Titus O'Neil slip aside.
I gotta get that shirt. Oh man, but you know, I guess it was this. I guess the Super Showdown felt more like a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I think too that had the timing of the Greatest Royal Rumble. I mean, yeah, the timing was. It was like we was getting ready for Backlash because it was after WrestleMania. And that's we were used to that. Then they just spring that in there. So like, oh wait, there's another show. Okay, so we're ready for that. So I think that's what kind of threw everything off.
Maybe they looked at it as a test also, see how it went, and then now that they're returning, they'll treat it better.
Yeah.
Have you heard any other rumored matches for the show?
I'm not, and you know, I don't really pay attention. I hear the rumors through like listening to friends' podcasts and shows like yours, but if nobody says it there, I don't like go and, like I used to like WrestleZone and stuff like that. I don't go too much.
What was it? Hell in a Cell. Mm-hmm. That was such a shocking moment when Brock Lesnar returned.
Yeah.
I did not expect it to come.
I actually like that.
Yeah, it was amazing because like the music hit and you're like, wait, what?
Right.
And I think he's having his return match at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, with Roman and Braun Strowman. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm just bored with the Shield, man. I know a lot of people don't like that. I'm bored with it.
They try teasing a fourth member or teasing that Dean Ambrose is going to turn on them. It's almost insulting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why do we keep going there with this? Like, okay, we know he's not going to turn at this point. Like, come on now.
Especially not for like Braun Strowman's Dogs of War.
Right. And we know he's going to leave them alone as soon as he gets the title. So,
Roman's running as champion right now. Do you think Dean will get a championship during this run?
There's no need for him. Not right now. You know, maybe eventually, but not right now.
Okay. Are you excited at all about the Evolution show coming up?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a huge women's wrestling fan.
Okay.
So I'm very excited to see them be able to put their own show on. I'm glad they're trying it out with a pay-per-view instead of giving us like a Monday or Wednesday night special. We were talking about Alexa Bliss earlier. You know, Trish Stratus is my favorite of all time.
Okay.
So if anybody I would have put in the ring with her, it would have been Alexa Bliss. And I know I don't get a lot of heat because, you know, her and Sasha Banks had the moment at the Women's Royal Rumble. But to me, Sasha Banks, I'm not buying her as a boss. Her character, yes, she can wrestle, but that's about it. Like, she's like, oh, I'm a boss, and this and that. Okay, what else? What else do you have? Bayley runs around and she smiles so much. I've been saying for the longest, I want to see Bayley become a heel.
Really?
We know what she can do as a face, but that where she had all the little girls, you know, they're kind of growing up now. I think now's that time to have that turn, you know, and it's shot. We can see how far she can go with that. You know, I think they was going to try to tease it, but, you know, so I thought that her and Sasha's teaming up together was setting us up for a huge feud between the two. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. Like, I understood why they didn't put it on SummerSlam. We felt we would have got lost in the shuffle, or in WrestleMania, I should say. But I thought we would have got it towards SummerSlam, but it didn't happen. But with with Alexa Bliss, just seeing what she's been able to do on Raw and SmackDown has just been incredible.
I like Bayley as a face. I think the main roster, they've just unaware of how to book her.
Okay.
But I think Sasha should definitely turn heel.
Yeah.
Because that boss character lends itself to a heel persona so much better. Like in NXT, she was amazing.
Yeah, she was.
And now there's these rumors that there's going to be a women's tag team championship, and that's what they're gearing those two for. That's why they never pulled the trigger on the feud.
That makes sense.
Ronda Rousey's defending the Raw title at Evolution. I guess two. Who was it?
Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella. Yeah.
You know, the leaked cards showed Nikki Bella, and if you watched during the pay-per-view, you saw the season was sort of planted that I'm not tagging you in. I'm going to start the match. I don't have a problem with it. You know, people you get on the Bellas draw money in the wrestling. Like they cross over wrestling to the audience. I have a lot of friends who are women who watch Total Divas that love the Bellas.
Really?
Yeah, and they don't watch wrestling at all. But you know, if I'm coming in, and you know, especially like one of my coworkers, she'll talk about it and she'll say, "Oh yeah, I saw this, I saw that." So you know, and then I had another coworker who started watching wrestling because she loved Total Divas. But that's all. To me, the Bellas are important. You know, not saying that's all of them, but they're an important part of that.
Okay. You're talking about the Bellas. Bree had a huge botch last week. I'm kind of glad they're not putting her in the ring with Rousey. She just absolutely destroyed, who was it, Liv Morgan?
Yeah. And Liv Morgan got her receipt at the Super Showdown.
Oh, yeah. Are there any other leaked or announced matches on? Oh, Lito's returning.
Yeah, Lito's returning. I forgot the matches because that was one of those things where, you know, it was like remember when they debuted the new WWE Championship and they had a leak that came out, and I liked the belt, but I was disappointed because I saw it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how I felt with Evolution. I was like, I saw it, I was like, I don't want to look at this.
It seems like they announced Crown Jewel and just kind of forgot about Evolution now. Like they're trying to build more than one show, and
that's where it gets difficult. You know, this isn't like '98 where you could book your SummerSlam, Austin and Undertaker, and then lead up to it and tell the story of them becoming the tag team champions and dropping the tag. Right? They don't have a Vince Russo to do that, which we all know a Vince Russo filtered by Vince McMahon was a genius.
Yeah.
Vince Russo unfiltered, different story.
But his podcasts are entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. But you do know we're getting the NXT Women's title. Kyrie saying that Shayna Baszler.
That's right. And there's rumors that Baszler might come up to the main card, the main event, the main roster. Yeah, that they might finally pull the trigger on a 4 horsemen versus 4 horsewomen at WrestleMania. So bring her up now to kind of set it up.
So now you got to repair things between Bayley and Charlotte. Becky and Charlotte.
All of them. Yeah.
Yes. That would be So then who would be? And that makes me wonder. So who's going to be if that's the match at WrestleMania? Who's going to be in your SmackDown Live Women's Championship match? And who's going to be in your, unless you do Asuka and Naomi for the women's title and let Asuka finally get the title at WrestleMania, and then maybe I don't want to say Alexa Bliss and Nia Jackson, but you know, that's what leaves in one of those. So what do you do with the rest of them? You know,
unless they leave like one of them as champion, so there's one of them still champion.
That's what I hope they don't do.
Yeah.
Like don't. That's why I don't like Rollins having an Intercontinental title because now that holds the title up for somebody else, like Bobby Roode, who could be having, you know, Chad Gable.
But Bobby Roode's in such a great tag team now.
Yeah, all right. I need him as a heel, and I need him back on SmackDown. Him and Jinder.
Yeah. Jinder on SmackDown was ridiculous. When he won the title, you're like, this makes no sense. But then it grew on you.
I liked it. It was that shock factor, and you know, I was tired of seeing Randy Orton with the title anyway, so it was great.
And he is believable as champion. Like as ridiculous as it seemed when it happened, every week it came out, and you're like, this dude is champion.
And he was a true heel. One of the things is that a heel always thinks that their way is the right way. Yeah, and that's what he was. Like Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens screams. You could put Kevin Owens in a match with a program with a trash can, and he'll make it work.
Absolutely. That was such an odd pairing, him and Elias.
I like it though. You know, I like Elias. I'm a huge Elias fan.
Oh, yes.
You know, who wants to walk with Elias?
And then they're against another odd team. John Cena, Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
John Cena looked a little bit slimmer.
Yeah. And new haircut. A lot of people was talking about that. Like, what's going on with his hair? You know, this is the talk of the internet.
Well, he's out there filming movies now. He's becoming The Rock. What he ever spied a few years back.
I think they had a conversation. The Rock straight up told him, "Look, dude, this is how it is, man. Let's get this money."
I wonder if he's under like $3 production.
I think I thought I heard some rumors that they working together. So
I wouldn't be surprised. Good combination.
I always want to know what was said at the end of WrestleMania 29. You know, neither one of them said anything, which is cool, but I'm just curious, you know?
Yeah. Brian, it's been awesome talking wrestling, because Keisha, like, she used to watch it back in the day, of course, like Austin, Undertaker, and everything, but she's getting more into it as we talk.
I think it was the SummerSlam show I was watching, when he was explaining to her everything, the backstory, and she was like into it. Like I thought, like right there, she was gonna get back into it. The way you had broke it down, which was a great job.
I was like trying to like move on to something else. She's like, wait, so tell me.
Yeah.
And like she got to go to Ring of Honor back in June when they were here for the World, and it's always better to be at a show live. I've been to shows like from Los Angeles to here. Everywhere I've lived, I've always been pumped to go to a show.
You ever been to WrestleMania?
I have not been to WrestleMania.
Oh, so you're going this year, right?
It's in New York. Like I should. Yeah. I might try. Like actually, even if I don't make WrestleMania, what I'd love to do is go to that New Japan Ring of Honor show at the Garden. Because the Garden is just where you got to go to see the wrestling show.
But you know, I'm a WWE guy first, so I think I want to be an NXT because I know, you know, and we know they're gonna go head to head. They're gonna put on, both of them will put on good shows, so it's gonna be. I'll tell you this: I was disappointed in last year's Supercard of Honor. Now I had just watched NXT. Then it was like, all right. Then the second half, and I fell asleep during the Marty Scurll, I forgot who was facing for the title, but I fell asleep during that match.
Really?
Yeah, you know. And I was like, all right, was it because it was late? It was almost into 1 o'clock. But I just wasn't entertained. I was disappointed in Cody and Kenny Omega. I like their match better than they had in San Francisco. But yeah, I think I'm going to do NXT. This would be the year that my son is good. It'd be his first WrestleMania.
Okay. Another show I really want to, and I should have gone this year because they were up in Philly, was Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the I just have to go to.
And that was a hard ticket to get to. Because I wanted to go as well, but it was man, prices.
I think the last time WWE did a pay-per-view here was TLC.
Extreme Rules, I thought.
That was 2010, and then.
Well, they did a couple years ago, but
that's right, they did.
But you went to TLC 2011.
2011.
Yeah, I was there too.
No John Cena on the card, which shocked a lot of people because they kind of looked at it as like throwaway pay-per-views at that Christmas season.
Yeah.
But that was such a great show to be at.
It was. Yeah. Kevin Nash and Triple H.
Yeah.
The main event was the CM Punk, Miz, and
Alberto.
Yeah, Alberto
Del Rio.
Yeah. I don't know why I was about to say R-Truth. Cody Rhodes and Booker T.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an entertaining show.
Daniel Bryan's first championship, right?
Oh yeah, how could I forget?
Cashed in.
I'm a huge Daniel Bryan fan. I lost my voice after that.
Oh,
and I became like Daniel Bryan surpassed Hogan and Bret in 2013 for me.
Yeah.
Right around that title with that chase, that was the time where he became my ultimate favorite wrestler. But I became a fan during that U.S. title run, and I like this guy. So when he won the title, I was happy. And I was disappointed. You know, you said you got up for during the match. That happened to me at WrestleMania 28, my first WrestleMania, the first match. I was like, I had my championship belts. I'm putting them down. I turned around, boom, 1, 2, and I saw the 3. I was like, no, you know. Like we all knew Sheamus was gonna win, even though I didn't want him to, but just the way it happened.
Yeah,
disappointing.
And then they almost repeated the same thing the next year.
Yeah. Right.
I've been to 3 pay-per-views.
Okay.
Extreme Rules here, 2010, TLC 2011. And like the worst actually the pay-per-view itself was good. Judgment Day 2006 is in Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
But that was like the night Great Khali got a clean pin on The Undertaker.
Oh.
And I've never, no, actually I won't say. That was like one of the most hostile crowds I've ever been in.
Really?
The most hostile crowd I've ever been in was a Raw, January 1999, the night China turned on DX. Yeah, that was a ridiculously just violent crowd.
For real? What was that?
It was Phoenix.
Phoenix?
It was like the night after Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I remember that. At the time, I didn't have cable. My grandmother would record Raw for me. So I remember watching it and just seeing when she turned on. I was like, you got kidding me.
Triple H and The Rock did an I Quit match.
Okay.
Like, it was the night after The Rock and Mankind. And they came out like 3 rows in front of us. And it was just like so ridiculous. Like, oh my God. Like, those are like the kind of things that you remember as a fan. You're just like, I was there that night.
I gotta go back and watch that on the network just to see it, because the way you breaking it down, it's like I got to see it again. You know?
Isn't one of the coolest things is like the network? You can just go back and watch stuff, and you're like, I was at that show.
Yeah.
I remember like where I was here. There's like another thing that they replay a lot is the Kane Lita wedding.
Yeah.
I was there for that one too. What are some of those memories for you?
So my first pay-per-view, Backlash 2008, Triple H was the title Fatal 4-Way match. The next pay-per-view was that TLC. WrestleMania 28 was the next one after that. I think it was the DC Battleground, and that was my son's first pay-per-view. And I feel like I did another pay-per-view. Definitely, I was in Connecticut the night after Money in the Bank when AJ came back and repaid for the title. That was the night when Damian Sandow came out as Crimson Man. It was like spot on. It was cool because my first time going to the Monday Night Raw up there. But yeah, I went to WrestleMania 33.
I hate to cut you out, but we got to go to break. And it's going to be our last segment coming up. Mark, this is the Outside Radio Show.
Check out this flashback from It Is What It Is radio show.
Paul he was chilling, he was doing his thing. Y'all, you feel me? Love y'all family, you know what I'm saying? And like for him to be taken away from you, snatched away from you just like that. You feel me? It's like damn. Another good one gone. You know what I'm saying? Like why you taking the good? You know what I'm saying?
You always end up asking like why?
And like again, it's a lesson that it's a test of faith. You feel me? Gonna take you through these tests. You feel me? You're gonna go through these little phases in life, yo. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you just gotta recognize that one, it's the adversary trying to knock you off your pivot, and then it's God trying to teach you something. You feel me? Right. Anything that you go through, you gonna get through. It's called going through. You feel me? That's why it's called going through. You going through something. Right. You feel me? Because after you go through it, you get through it. You look back on like, damn, I got that. You feel what I'm saying?
For this and more, be sure to tune into BeExposedRadio.com every Friday from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock p.m. to listen to more of It Is What It Is radio show.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Be Exposed Radio.
It's a family affair if you want to look at it that way.
It is. I totally agree, and I believe I believe that this wisdom on the wall is going to be a movement, and that's what I believe we are doing. Is we're creating a movement where people essentially, even after we've presented in these workshops, then they'll be inspired to sort of document some of the things that they've gone through and empower somebody else. So it'll be like a chain effect. So they'll see that, we were just 3 women who have gone through.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Spit Outside Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Sitting here with Brian Waters of the Wrestling Realm. We've been talking wrestling. It's been a wrestling-centric show tonight. Had Beer City Bruiser from Ring of Honor on, Michael Lowenthal from the Brass Tap, and there is some sports going on right now. The Dodgers wrapped up their series against the Braves. They're moving on to the championship series, the NLCS. And the Red Sox are leading the Yankees 3-0 right now. I think what I enjoyed most, aside from finding a kindred wrestling spirit, taking our minds off that horrible Ravens loss yesterday.
Man, yeah, absolutely.
I didn't want to talk about it. We had
glad to help.
We had an offense that was just so ineffective. Man, Michael Crabtree, you can't say anything. And in that same drive that he dropped the touchdown pass, he had 2 really great receptions to keep the drive going. And it was like, he had such a great season hits, he just starts dropping balls. And then it's like, bam.
I heard somebody say that he can catch the balls that's difficult to catch, but the easy ones he drops.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it looked like.
He looked like Lee Evans out there.
And that game in the overtime came down to the last second. I thought they were going to end up with a tie.
Yeah, me too.
I think I'd rather take the tie than the loss.
Yeah.
But
and they kicked it low. It's just like somebody maybe got their hand up. They probably would have been a tie.
Yeah.
And you remember a couple years ago when they blocked the kick and returned it in overtime to beat the Browns.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football.
So we're sitting here 2-3. Have the Titans next week. Titans had a tough loss too at home, and it's our 3rd road game in a row. How do you see the Ravens doing in that game?
Is Mariota playing?
Yeah, I believe he is.
Okay. I mean, they usually, the thing is, as my boys from the Flex on brought up to my attention yesterday, they said when they play the Steelers and they win that, they usually drop one afterwards. So I think now that they got their bell rung, they'll come out firing against the Titans. I want to see them open that offense up. I really love John Brown. I read his story about the night his brother was killed, and it's just usually when I read stories like that, it just makes me I've been fortunate enough not to have one of those type of tragedies, but I really start feeling for people. It makes me really root for them. Or hearing people come from I like Richard Sherman, just hearing how he was talking about his dad. So, and being a hard worker, and still a hard worker. So, I think, I really want to see them really, throw deep. I want to see them. Everybody, we always talk about Joe Flacco's arm. Let's see it in action, The run game isn't there right now. I like to believe that maybe if they did something, fix something with that offensive line, that maybe we got something with Collins and Buck Allen, but
that's the thing, they ran the ball 23 times, I think, and Flacco threw it 56. And whenever he throws more than 45, they always tend to lose, it seems like. And Buck Allen and Collins, and they were actually getting averaging 5 yards a carry, so they could have stuck with the running game, and it probably would have ended up way different score. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do next week.
Yeah.
We'll see how they bounce back.
This will be a tight one. Now we know we got 4 strong teams in this division. It hasn't been that way ever, to be honest with you. Because you can never count out the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got a lot of problems over there. And I still think they're the worst team in the division, but they're not bad. They just have problems. Which I think is ultimately going to keep them out of the playoffs. I do think the Ravens still can win this division. I don't think the Browns have to come here. I think the Ravens will probably win this division.
Yeah. The Browns are 2-2-1. Very easily could be undefeated. Everything's close. But hey, that's another Monday in the books. Michael was here earlier. Brian, thank you so much for coming in.
No problem.
Check him out on the Wrestling World, Wrestling Wisdom, on the promotion. So check out the Wrestling Realm. How often do you put out content?
Well, usually Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I think this week I got Wrestling for the Culture on Sunday. At least there's a podcast coming out Wednesday morning or late Tuesday night. Sometimes Monday or Tuesday and Wednesday, but most of the time definitely on Wednesdays will be something. And then there's always stuff on Instagram on me or Dwayne posting something cool images or something.
There you go. As we like to say on the show, Baltimore,
Spread love, you know?
And your camera.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin' Street? Girlin' Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
You want to start off?
I think I'll get it out of the way on a who's not.
Okay, do it.
The Orioles.
Right.
They got swept by the Royals. They lost 4 in a row, and the last 5 games have all been decided by 1 run.
Mm-hmm.
The game before, or the last game that they lost before the Royals was the Nationals, and it was Weeders, of course, won with a home run.
Hit the home run.
Right.
They were going into that national series. It seemed like they were doing so well, and they just crapped out. They got that game postponed, so who knows when they're going to replay that or play that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first not for the night.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weigh in on my who's not, and I'm going to talk about the San Diego Padres.
The Padres. That's okay. You just took my answer.
They're in last place in the NL West. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Their run differential is a negative 65, which is just horrible. So when you have well, let me just talk about run differential a little bit. It's kind of like the
how much you're winning or losing your games by, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. It's like the margin of victory, kind of.
Right.
So when you're in a negative number, that means that you're.
Then your average game you're losing
by a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, a number like negative 65, this early in the season is pretty rough.
That's horrible.
The pitching numbers pretty much support this stat right here. I mean, the team ERA is 4.70, which is 26th in the league. They have 126 walks allowed. They acquired Jared Weaver in the offseason, and he really has not panned out. He's off to one of the worst starts in any of the pitchers in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
He's 0-4 with a 6.05 ERA. In May alone, he already has 12 earned runs in May. And, another one of their pitchers, Clayton Richard, he's 2-4 with a 4.34 ERA. And, in May, he has 6 earned runs and 12 innings pitched. So they're not pitching well. And on top of that, they are also not batting well.
Right. But it kind of sucks because Manuel Margot is doing pretty good. His the past few at bats, his last.
Join the Just a Bit Outside crew every Monday, 8 to 10 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Join the club that gives you stuff.
Hey, thanks!
Radio Loyalty.
Here's how it works.
Just click on the Radio Loyalty banner right now and sign up. Then, you keep on listening like you already do. But now you earn points. Those points add up, and you can trade them in for stuff in the Radio